Hello, my dear friends and respected attendees. Good morning. I am Shashikant, PhD scholar and coordinator of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. The Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge was founded by Professor Dr. Lella Karunyakara sir. His vision behind establishing the institution was to create an academic space for scholars, researchers, professors, and social scientists engaging in the field of Dalit studies. Today, the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is organizing its 20th lecture, which is a part of ongoing lecture series that began on occasion of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Jayanti 2025. For today's session, Professor Karunyakara sir will be chairing the lecture, and our key speaker, distinguished and celebrated scholar of Buddhism, Professor Naik sir will deliver his lecture on the topic The Buddha and his Dhamma, an overview. Before we begin today's session, we extend our heartfelt greeting and best wishes to all of you on the occasion of Lord Macaulay's birth anniversary. On this special day, we are also delighted to announce that today marks the third foundation day, or we can say the second anniversary of our institution, the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. Our institution was established on 25th October 2022 under the name of Indian Institute of Dalit Knowledge. To commemorate the Silver Jubilee 25 years of academic life of our founder, Dalit historian Professor Karunyakara sir, we organized 2 days e-conference titled Dalit Worldview on 18th and 19th February 2023. During this event, numerous scholars, researchers, and students from across the country presented their research papers. Following the grand success of this conference, it was decided to register our institution in Nagpur. However, despite several efforts, a registration under the name of Indian Institute of Dalit Knowledge could not be completed due to some legal regulations prohibiting the term using Indian in the name of institution. To resolve this issue, Professor Karunyakara sir engaged in months of intellectual discussion with various eminent personalities. Finally, on 18th June 2023, the occasion of birth celebration of Professor Karunyakara sir, the institution was officially renamed as Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. The first lecture under this new name was delivered by Professor Karunyakara sir himself on the topic subclassification among Dalits. Continuing this academic journey on 18th June 2024, the book of Dalit Worldview e-conference were released, edited by Professor Shakti Kumar sir, Center for Economic Studies and Planning JNU, and Professor Sasi Kumar sir, Department of Human Rights BBAU. Further extending this series from 14th April 2025 onwards, a weekly online lecture series has been organized every Saturday. The primary objective of the initiative is to invite Dalit scholars from across the country to strengthen and advance Dalit discourse and disseminate Dalit knowledge on history, economy, ideology, culture, politics, and contemporary issues regarding Dalits. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Darshana Mishram to formally welcome and introduce our chairperson. Darshana Mishram, madam.
Thank you, Shashikant sir. I am Dr. Darshana, teaching sociology at Yeshwant College and also coordinator of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. I am giving introduction of the chair. Professor Dr. Leila Karunyakara is a former Vice Chancellor and founder of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. He is author of the History of Dalit Identity of Modernization of Buddhism. After completing his PhD from JNU, New Delhi, Dr. Karunyakara joined as assistant professor in the School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Center University, Lucknow. He introduced the Dalit history course in the MA history program. He was instrumental in introducing 50% reservation for SC/ST student in the BBAU admissions. He founded Ambedkar University Dalit Students Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Center University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. He joined as director cum professor in the Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidho Kanu Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalay. He held post of Dean of School of Culture and former Vice Chancellor of the University. This is a brief introduction of the respected chair. Please welcome sir to this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Now I request Dr. Smita Bhagat, madam, to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest. Smita, madam, please.
Thank you so much, Shashikant. It's an honor for me to introduce such an eminent personality, Professor C.D. Naik. So, friends, today it's a very, very important day for Dalit Adivasi and Bhojana Indian. It's a rising day for us because it's the birthday of Thomas Babington Macaulay. On the occasion of celebrating the birth anniversary of Thomas Babington Macaulay, we are privileged to introduce Professor Sidney Knight once again. He is most knowledgeable personality, and his way of giving speech is very much appreciated. Because his speech is full of joy and energetic. Professor C.D. Naik, distinguished scholar and academic leader, Professor Naik holds degrees of MA, MPhil from Lancaster University, UK, PhD from Nagpur University, and Dalit from honoris causa, Asian University, Bangalore with 28 years service as a Buddhist monk and 24 years in academia as a professor, dean, director general, vice chancellor, chair professor, and registrar at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Mahu. He was supervised over 50 PhD and 150 MPhil scholars. Prolific author and researcher has toured 14 countries and continues his literary work in Indore as a retired academia. So, sir, it's a warm welcome once again. Thank you so much.
Finally, I now request Professor Naik, sir, to kindly deliver his lecture. Please, sir, take a charge. Naik, sir, please take a charge.
Okay. Can you hear me
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir,
clearly?
properly. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, all the audience, headed by Leela Karunyakar, the founder of the Academy of Dalit Knowledge or Dalit Academy of Knowledge, and he has been the vice chancellor also for the university, Mahatma Gandhi University. And because of your request and because of your asking me for once more, I am ready here for that in order to respond to your request. And today I am going to speak because though I will speak, I will not complete the speech because the topic is very vast and it will take ages because I was 28 years as a monk, still I couldn't finish the Buddha and his Dhamma. I was a professor for 24 years, but I never finished the Buddha and his Dhamma. And now I am retired, I still cannot finish the Buddha and his Dhamma. Because Buddha and his Dhamma and the law Pratitya Samutpada Buddha, they are same thing. Same thing in the sense that the doctrine of Pratitya Samutpad says no beginning, no end. But for understanding, it starts with avidya pachaya sankhara. Because of the ignorant acts take place. Sankhara pachaya vinyanang. Because of wrong guidance, wrong instructions, and wrong ethics, wrong mindedness is generated. So, at the end, you will find because of Vedana, because of attachment, because of becoming, the birth take place. Because of birth, the old age take place, disease take place, and death also takes place. So, in short, Buddha says, there is suffering, there is sorrow of birth, of disease, of illness, and of loss, and of company with bad friends, and dissociation with beloved. So there is ultimately sorrow, there is ultimate suffering, but that is not the end. Why? Because Buddhas will come and Buddhas will go. But the law will remain even before his coming and be after his going also. And the law is whatever exists must die. And whatever is died is not guaranteed. Whether it is freed from attachment, freed from lust, freed from private ownership, or freed from any defilement or ignorance. Because enlightenment is light. Light of Asia, for example, written by Sir Edwin Arnold before Ambedkar wrote his Buddha and his Dhamma. Sir Edwin Arnold preached, propagated, disseminated the message of Buddha, message of the Buddha and his Dhamma. Even Dr. Ambedkar was born. In 1879, he published The Light of Asia. In fact, it is the translation of Lalit Vistar of Ashwaghosh in the name of Light of Asia. Light of Asia says, pray not the darkness, because it will not shine by your praying. Ask not the silence, because it will not speak, because you ask. Pray not the God, and bribe not God with blood. Feed not the God with fruits and cakes, because the God is helpless. The gods are helpless. Within oneself, deliverance must be sought. Every man his prison makes. If one says that nirvana is to live, please tell him he is a ring. He does not know what is nirvana. He does not know what shining is there beyond his broken lamp. Everybody is a broken lamp. The world is full of lamps, broken men, degraded men, untouchable men, women. And beyond that, they don't know. Lifeless and timeless, the bliss alone. This is the word of the Light of Asia. And to read Buddha and his Dhamma, generally it is suggested that you should read with Karl Marx, you should read with revolution and counter-revolution. But I say emphatically, you should read Gandhi and Jinnah also. You should read the volume 3 about philosophy of Hinduism also. You should read the annihilation of caste. You should read the problem of the rupee. You should read the Constitution of India and all 22 books written by Dr. Ambedkar. Why? Because Pratitya Samutpad is beginningless, Pratitya Samutpad is without end, and Buddha and his Dhamma is beginningless, and Buddha and his Dhamma is without end. So, start from the point where you are. Start from the moment at which you are present. So, starting with the suffering of the world, Buddha has started with material thing, solid thing, the proof. He did not speculate on any God or any soul or any supernatural thing or any magic. He started with the reality, solid. Karl Marx started with exploitation. Karl Marx started with exploitation and ended with annihilation of the capitalists. Das Kapital is the Karl Marx and his Dhamma. As the Buddha and his Dhamma, he is the Buddha and his Dhamma. In Das Kapital, his aim was same as the Buddha's aim. No exploitation, no sorrow. Buddha said no exploitation, no sorrow. But violence is not the guaranteed solution or remedy. You cannot beg the victory, you cannot beg the wealth after you have consumed your violence. After consummation of violence, nothing is left in your hand. You will be living in misery endlessly because no means, no help. All the help was gone after utility of violence. Hinsa. Buddha said, I do not believe in hinsa, but I do not deny hinsa also. And therefore, to put the ancient word of the Buddha 6 centuries before the Christ, there is Paul, Saint Paul, and there are fathers going to the Plymouth. And they declared, long after the Buddha, that the covenant of the Christ make us unite, and we are one body with his words, and therefore we are a nation. Ambedkar said, nothing doing. Nation is not a plaything that some bureaucrat will come and play with it, capitalist will come and play with it, dictator will come and play with it. It's a natural tendency. It is the disposition of fraternity. It is the disposition of equality. It is the disposition of liberty. It is the disposition of mind. It is the disposition of constitution. It is the disposition of social morality that makes the democracy, that makes the society, that makes the world, civilized world, cultured world. And therefore you have to develop it artificially. You have to endeavor, persevere to build it, because it is not a free gift like the Diwali gift or any celebration gift or any ball or sweet. It is not a gift. It needs preservation. The doctrine of Eightfold Path lays down Samma Vayamo. Pali word Vayamo does not mean exercise. It does not mean physical exercise. It means mental exercise. Mentally, you should persevere. Because mind is the spring of action. Dr. Russell, philosopher Russell, the Russell of Britain, the Russell of England, was criticized by Dr. Ambedkar with regard to the principle of reconstruction of society. Because Russell happened to mention that the impulses are the spring of action. And therefore, on that basis, Ambedkar said, Dr. Russell or philosopher Russell is anti-violence, but he is not pro-peace. Because whenever there are impulses and they can come at any time, they can arise at any time, and then you will go to violence, you will use arms, you will use fist, you will abuse, you will use our mouth very blindly or very violently. So therefore, the result of crime, the result of violence, the result of hinsa is bound to come. Once you have utilized hinsa, you are worse than a poor, worse than a miserable man. You are not left with any means, any upaya to resettle, to correct, to rectify yourself or your life or your goal. Once you have exhausted your hinsa, once you have exhausted your violence, you are miserable, most miserable, terrible, terribly miserable, irreparable miserable. You cannot be repaired. Therefore, Buddha say, be wealthy of means. Be equipped with means and use violence at the end. And therefore he says, if one who is worthy to be punished must be punished for violation of collective rule, of liberty, collective rule of equality, collective rule of fraternity. And therefore, when there is democracy, you have three things together. You avoid dictatorship. You have parliamentary democracy. And you have equality. You have liberty. Russian government or Mars sociology can give guarantee of only one thing, that is equality. Very important aspect of life. But he cannot guarantee the liberty. You must be bound like lamb is bound to Mary. And therefore, you must not be weaponless. You should always be armed with weapon. Weapon of fraternity, weapon of liberty, weapon of equality, and also at the end, because ultimate end, because it is the ultimate, so either you are or your enemies. So better for the good of the good people, you should sacrifice yourself. You should not let the morality and Dhamma defeat by the hands of the evils, by the hands of the violent people, by the hands of the dictators. Dr. Ambedkar went to the Round Table Conference. What happened there? There was dictatorship. Indian dictatorship on the one hand, British dictatorship on the other hand, Marxian dictatorship on the third place. So all was full of dictatorship. Germany, Hitler, Italy, Mussolini. Now India, Mahatma Gandhi. Why? He said before the British Premier Ramsay MacDonald, oh, you know, this roundtable conference composed of so many members, I don't like it. And I alone represent the untouchables, the Shudras of India. Who is Dr. Ambedkar? Ambedkar doesn't pay respect to me. I am elder than Ambedkar. Ambedkar is very young, as Buddha was young compared to Jain Mahavira. Even Ajit Kes Kambali, Makhali Gosal, they were very elderly people. before Buddha, before Gautama, before Siddhartha. And Siddhartha paid least attention to their philosophy because he has better to say. He has better to preach, better to give, better to build. He was for reconstruction of the world. He was for the reconstruction of the society. He was for the reconstruction of morality. And therefore, he listened. But that was not the end. He preached the doctrine of humanity. You see, there is inequality, in fact, inequality in the physical strength, inequality in the capacity, inequality in the mental capacity also, inequality in wealth, inequality in various sorts. But human being is not a mathematics. Human being is not a physics either. Human being is not a one isolated knowledge. Human being is the whole, the integration of all knowledges, including biology, sociology, ethics, history, knowledge, astronomy, politics, geology, physiology, medical science, all that. And therefore, Dr. Ambedkar and Buddha's view was never narrow. Ambedkar said, you see, these are the telegrams, hundreds of telegrams in my right hand, hundreds of telegrams in my left hand. And people of India sent them to me. And they say, please represent us. We are dying here. We are in sorrow here. We are under dictatorship here. We are not safe here. Please save us. And Ambedkar gave proof there and then before the Ramsay MacDonald and said, those who are elderly, they raise dust, but they raise no level. And therefore let them raise the dust, but they should not raise the dust on my people who are in India. The whole country was a democratic country. You see, during Buddha's time, even before Buddha's time, even in Rig Veda, your Professor Karunyakara Leela Karikram worked for the tribal studies, worked for the tribal knowledge as a professor. And what happened in Vedic period? There was tribal people, tribal heroes. Tribal heroes. And those tribal heroes dominated the 10 other tribes who were weak in composition and in force also. And they were Sudas, Divodas. Divodas was the father, Sudas was the son. They were mentioned in the Mahabharata also as Pijvan. Pijvan means Pajavan. Pajavan means under their tribe named Bharat, the whole India is named Bharat. Not Bharat because of a son of Dushyanta. You can say addicted person. No, Bharat can be named in the name of any addicted person, whether ancient, Puranic, or modern. Bharat can be named only after a worthy hero who can lead the whole nation by his messages, by his philosophy, by his understanding. And therefore the worthy Bharat name is because of the worthy people who were born before Buddha and who give this inheritance, this legacy of equality, fraternity, brotherhood, you can say, liberty. And then on 13th of October, 2500 years for the Buddha age, for the Lord Buddha over. And on 14th October, Dr. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism at Nagpur. And the Naga people were the original followers of Buddha. Samrata Ashoka went to them and asked them, please give me the relics, the holy relics contained in your shrine. I want to build 84,000 stupas. They said, nothing doing. You can ask for our life, we can give it. But don't ask for the relics, holy relics of the Buddha. They never surrendered even before Ashoka. Never gave the relics. And after they were gone, only then Ashoka collected the relics from all the 8 kingdoms who loved Buddha like anything and built shrine on the relics of the Buddha. He collected all the relics and built 84,000 stupas in India. Out of whom? Your Amritsar. Out of whom? All the existing temples, so-called temples, hidden, is Buddhism there. And therefore, the whole kingdom of righteousness, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Arabia, Alexandria, all geography. You see, there was enemy of Dhamma called religion. Religion was the enemy of the Dhamma. Why? Because Galileo died. He was crucified like Jesus Christ. Galileo was murdered. Yes, Galileo said, Earth is not the center of the universe. Sun is the center of the universe. Bruno likewise was sacrificed. He said truth. Bible said against it. Bible was a religion. And therefore, Hinduism is a religion. This religion said that the Prithvi stands on the head of a snake. And when you question who stands on the snake, what is the basis of snake? Earth is all right. It has taken the hood of the snake for its basis. Now what about the snake? What is the basis of snake? On whose background snake is standing? No answer. No answer. Because the ideas of perversion, the ideas of speculation without any grain of truth in it cannot build the empire of truth, cannot build the kingdom of religion, cannot bring the kingdom of Dhamma. And therefore Buddha started with dukkha, the first truth. Dukkha, there is dukkha in the world. And there is end of it. But there will be endless doctrine of pratitya samutpad. Copernicus tried to fight against the religion. And Copernicus also said like, as a scientist, you see the center of the universe is not Earth. Earth is rotating around the sun. Rotating it. Sun is also rotating around itself. Earth rotating, moon is rotating around the earth. And therefore, there is a solar system and numerous solar systems in the universe. There are constellations, and therefore earth is not the center. Though Bible said, though Quran said, or though Jewish scripture said, but that was the religion. It took 400 years for the scientist to control the scope of religious studies. Swadhyaya. What does Swadhyaya means? Swadhyaya means the study of the Vedas. And Oldenburg said, the Shakyas never practice Vedas. Because Oldenburg said Veda is a desert of knowledge. It is not a Karunyakara's Dalit Academy of Knowledge. It was a desert of knowledge. Has Karunyakara established any Dalit Academy in the desert? No. He established where there is public, where there is society, where there are classes, where there are men and women living together. Because that is the means, that is the sources. True studies, true people. False studies, false people. So therefore, it is after Darwin that religion was controlled forever. But after 400 years of struggle against religion. And therefore, Buddha also, after his age was finished, Ambedkar came to the scene, and therefore Ambedkar discovered Dhamma, and he put before the religion. And he said, nothing doing. The kingdom of righteousness must be established, because the kingdom of righteousness is the remedy for the total suffering, annihilation of suffering. Dr. Ambedkar wrote the annihilation of caste. He took his MA degree on ancient Indian commerce, but he read his sociological paper in the Dr. Golden Wager's anthropology seminar. In that anthropology seminar, he didn't mention anything about ancient Indian commerce, but he mentioned that endogamy is the cause. Endogamy is the pratitya samutpad of modern wretchedness of women folk. The women were never told that they are liberated, they are free. The Manu took revenge out of women, because during the Buddha's regime, women were so free that they could become sannyasi also. They cannot now. They cannot even earlier. But there was time when women joined the public competition, debate. They controverted the king like Naik. Sulba, for example, Sulba. She controverted the king Janak openly. Gargi controverted the Yagyavalkya. Maitreyi controverted the Yagyavalkya. So women was such powerful in studies, in knowledge, that they participated in the public debate and won the platform because of their higher knowledge. And therefore, during the Buddha's regime, women become sannyasi, and women became nuns, Buddhist nuns. And they were preaching the Dhamma in such an indefatigable spirit that they dauntlessly figured as nuns. Thervadi, in Thervad there is a Tripitak. It is the scripture of Dhamma. But there is, you say Theri Gatha, equivalent to Buddha Vachan. Ther Gatha, equivalent to Buddha Vachan. And therefore, in Gita, the Nirvana is hiddenly described as Brahma Nirvana. In fact, there is no Brahma Nirvana in Upanishad also. But why Brahma Nirvana in Gita? Because in Gita, the Nirvana doctrine is borrowed by Krishna or borrowed by Gita composers. And just to distinguish between Buddhist Nirvana, they have named it Brahma Nirvana. But the contents of Brahma Nirvana are same as Buddhist Nirvana. Detachment, upekha, fraternity, maitri, mudita, Karuna, these are the contents of Brahma Nirvana. And therefore, the Gita's Brahma Nirvana is nothing but the borrowed Nirvana of Buddhism. And therefore, you see, the Oldenburg also said that Kshatriya, the Shakya people, they never studied Vedas, but they believed in martial art. So they gave the training of martial art to the Gautama also before his marriage. And therefore Gautama was very expert in martial art. And therefore Buddha was not a Ahimsa man from the very beginning. He knew all the crafts, all the arts of the world, including knowledge. And then he even went to the extent of opposing the Shakyas themselves on the water of Rohini river. He said, why shed blood for water? Blood is always, higher than water. Blood is always worthy of higher respect than water. Therefore, if you use violence and hinsa for water's sake, you have used all your resources. You will be weaponless, resourceless hereafter. So please settle this dispute by friendship. And therefore he gave the norm. In volume 3, Dr. Ambedkar also wrote on philosophy. And in philosophy, he mentioned the revolution of Copernicus, the revolution of Darwinism, the revolution of psychology, the revolution of physics, the revolution of science. But he said after 400 years of waging war with religion, they have got this position. So Darwinism was determining factor in defeating religion in their prospering scope. And therefore he said the doctrine of evolution is given by Darwinism. And therefore the Darwinism is determining factor winning against religion, but the doctrine of evolution of Darwin is also not without fault. He says that the powerful, the most powerful must survive. He said physically or mentally. If it is physically, then what is worth of being physically strong? And what is the meaning of the survival of the physically fittest? Fittest will survive. Means physically fittest will survive. There is inequality in terms of arts also. Physical arts. There is difference in capacity of mind also. So he said, when there is a demand of utility, the norm of judging what is wrong and right is utility. Of what kind of utility you are for sacrificing for the good of the society, for the well-being of the society, for the welfare of the society, freedom from suffering for society. So it is nothing but utility is the norm. Utility is the criterion. But the modern society diminished, annihilated all gods from the universe. And the society is composed only of men and women. Only of men you can say, because woman is also a man. So only man is composed in the society. Therefore, the justice is the norm for the modern society. So therefore, you should see that by your existence, by your speech, by your conduct, by your philosophy, no injustice is done. And therefore, the Pilgrim Fathers and St. Paul, they sought, they used to see the nation in the words of the Jesus. In the same way, Dr. Ambedkar saw the nation in the words of the Buddha. Even the norm of independence, they do not say, it does not say that all men are equal. It says, the law of independence says, all men are created equal. Not that all men are equal. And also our constitution, Article 15, Article 16, Article 14. What did it say? No state can discriminate any citizen on the ground of race, on the ground of caste, on the ground of religion, on the ground of, you can say, place of birth. Nothing. It does not say all men are equal. It says no state shall discriminate any citizen on these grounds. And therefore, Dr. Ambedkar believed that every citizen of the world should be the sentinel of the kingdom of righteousness of the universe. He is for the universe as the kingdom of righteousness, kingdom of Buddhism, kingdom of the Buddha, kingdom of the Dhamma. And therefore, Dr. Ambedkar embraced Buddhism to reconstruct society, to reconstruct world, to reconstruct the universe according to the principle of liberty, according to the principle of equality, according to the principle of fraternity. Kingdom of righteousness. Every citizen to be its sentinel, no police, no state. Karl Marx says the state will wither away. Ambedkar asked, when? When will it wither away? And why class? Why class conflict? There is class in every family. Father to son, son to mother, sister to brother, son to son, son to daughter. You see? They say, this is a generation gap. But say the same thing. Conflict. There is conflict in every family. Now, are you going to kill all families? Who will survive to make the kingdom of righteousness in the world? To make the communism? To make the poverty gone? To make the total suffering annihilated? Who will we survive then? And therefore Buddha and Ambedkar said, man, the birth of man is worth. The birth of man is not suffering. The birth of man is worth its birth. But birth of man is not the norm. There are religions who say birth of the man is the worth of the man. There are Buddha and Ambedkar, they say birth is the norm, not birth. According to birth, all beasts and all men are same because they are born in the similar fashion. But only when they become higher by culture, higher by cultivation of mind, then more and more he becomes man, manhood. And therefore, the civilization of culture, the culturalization of humanity. Buddha is a cloud, rain cloud. Dhamma is a rain. And society is the beneficiaries. Society is the beneficiary of the Buddha and beneficiary of the Nam, beneficiary of the Dhamma also. And therefore, the Buddha and his Dhamma, you see, Buddha and his Dhamma, he could have added Buddha and his Dhamma and his Sangha. Ambedkar did not add Sangha. Ambedkar said only Buddha and his Dhamma. Buddha is the rain cloud. Dhamma is the rain. And we are the beneficiaries. Beneficiaries are not counted among the contributors. Beneficiaries are beneficiaries. He said, therefore, the voters can become the kings and dominant and rulers. Why you should remain voters only, lifelong, and also generations to generation? You become rulers, rulers of the kingdom of righteousness. You do not become only sentinel. You become the emperor, like Chandragupta, like Ashoka, like Kanishka, like Mucus, like Harsha. And there is a Ashokan Stupa in Pakistan, Ashokan Stupa in Alexandria, Ashokan Stupa in Mongolia, China, Tibet, and all, Eastern and Western and Northern and Southern Buddhist countries. And 84,000 stupas are not stupas, they are the norm. Because he wanted the righteousness kingdom should be established not only in India but outside India also. Ambedkar also wanted that democracy should not be established only in India but outside India also. So majority of the countries, 196 countries, they are democratic countries. And they were following republics. Buddha's time there were republics, Shakya's republic was there, Lichavi's republic was there, Vajji's republic was there. And who was the friend, philosopher and guide of the republics? Nobody else but the Buddha. Buddha taught the rule of democracy to the republics of Lichavis, republics of the Vajjis, republics of the Shakyas. And where was the Buddha born? Where was the Gautama born? In Kapilvastu. What is Kapilvastu? It is named after the Kapil, the Sankhya philosopher. The Sankhya philosopher in the original, was non-God philosophy. It was a non-soul philosophy. It was a Purushless philosophy. Because the Purusha of the Sankhya philosophy is non-active, passive. The Purusha of Vedanta is very active. Brahma is very active. Brahma created the world. Brahma sustained the world. Brahma ended the world. And the philosophy of Brahmaism is composed by the Brahma lover. And Vedanta is named, Uttar Mimamsa is named as Vedanta. And there is in the Upanishad, there is no word Nirvana, let alone Brahma Nirvana. In Gita, there is Brahma Nirvana. Now, this Kapil's philosophy is distorted by Hinduism. Kapil is a materialist. He believed in the Prakriti, in the matter to evolve. And there is no cause like God for Prakriti. Prakriti is the cause, Prakriti is the effect. Prakriti is the cause, Prakriti is the effect. And therefore their Purusha is inactive because nothing is left for Purusha to do anything. Similarly, Buddha said, all the cognizance, all the activities of knowledge of Karunyakara activity are done by mind. All Vedanas are done by mind. All cognitions are done by mind. All thinking is done by mind. And all, you can say, Chetana or activities or sanskaras are performed by mind. Now tell me, what is the use of soul? What kind of action it does? No action. It is just like the Purusha of Sankhya. What? This Brahma, this soul, this Atma, soul, they are speculations. It is like playing satta. You better play satta and win some money. But if you play Purusha and if you play the satta of soul, you are not going to win anything. You know, the Pandavas lost their wife, Draupadi, lost their kingdom because of this satta. They played satta and they lost their kingdom. And it took a long war. Also interference of Krishna as the friend, philosopher and guide of Arjuna. Arjuna was not ready to fight against his relations. But instigation by Krishna made him a fighter against his own kith and kin. So, the whole society, whether society of America, England, Japan, Korea, and New Zealand, Australia, all 5 continents, they are your kith and kins. Not based on the blood relationship, but based on the Dhamma relationship. Because Buddha and Buddha's disciples, they went to Alexandria, they went to Greek, they went to Arabia. In Arabia, they established Dhamma in such a way that the Buddha, we say, was vocalized, was announced as Booth. And still now the Booth is in existence. What is Booth? Booth is nothing but Buddha distorted. Buddhi distorted as Buddhu. Buddhi distorted as Buddhu. Buddha distorted as Booth. So they destroyed the idols, whether in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, or in India. And because the monks were the openly preachers and the soldiers of the Buddha, they were openly selected as enemies by the Arabians and destroyed. So the friend, philosopher and guide of the Buddha is gone because Chandragupta gone, Ashoka gone, Kanishka gone, Mucus gone, Harsha gone, and the medieval period of darkness dawned. And there are 7 diseases which caught the health of India. 7 diseases. Diseases of inequality. 7 Ds you can say. Degradation of personality of man, including women. And also there are other Ds, like you see the dishonor of the elderly people, dishonor of the norm, and degradation of religion, because religion said poverty is good. Bible also said poverty is good, meekness is good. And therefore if one slaps on your cheek, turn the other cheek to him for slapping again. And therefore he said, if your religion is not scientific, it will be dishonored, like disease, disrespected, like a person infected with virus, infected with a very infectious disease. And therefore 7 Ds caught the health of India, and India became slave. First to the Aryans, then the invaders in the form of Portuguese, in the form of Dutch, in the form of English, in the form of, you see, Muslims. And therefore in the form of ideologies, philosophy and religion, disrespected. Therefore, our Article 25 says freedom of religion. Article 25, freedom of religion. But are you free to profess your religion, to announce your religion? No. If you want to live in India, practice Hinduism. If you want to live in Bombay, speak Marathi. So all these restrictions are there in the name of religion. And Buddhism is no religion. Buddhism is Dhamma. Dhamma is a system. Dhamma is a way of life. Democracy is not politics. Democracy is a way of life. Democracy is a society. And therefore, Ambedkar got the strength from the moral righteousness, morality as the norm of justice for individual. Because each and every individual must get right. His wealth, his living, his accommodation, his job, his services, his family, his home, his children, his education, and all legacy to be taken from Dr. Ambedkar's legacy, Buddha's legacy. So Buddha and his Dhamma is in fact the legacy of the righteous word. And therefore, the revolution of the science is insufficient unless the revolution of Dhamma joins it and make it for the kingdom of righteousness. Make the word the kingdom, reconstruct the word. So therefore, reconstruct the word according to the means of the Buddha. And means of the Buddha is the doctrine of Eightfold Path. Before the doctrine of Eightfold Path, Buddha and his Dhamma introduced the doctrine of Nirvana. What is the doctrine of Nirvana? Before that, he established the doctrine of perfections, Paramita doctrine. What is Paramita doctrine? Paramita doctrine says, give to other, to the extent of your blood, to the extent of your organ, to the extent of your life even, for the establishment of the righteous word, righteous universe. Shila, morality. This is perfection. And for this perfection only, Buddha fought with another Buddha also. There was Karmakara, not Karunyakara, Karmakara. There was Bodhisattva Karmakara. And he recommended that such and such a devotee, such and such a lay person should be heightened in status and should be allowed to come to the place of nirvana, come to the happy place, come to the land of bliss, come to the land of happiness. And if there is denial, then I also do not want nirvana. I am satisfied without nirvana. See, revolutionary among the Buddhists also. The revolutionaries do not want nirvana, however good, however best it may be, however sweetest it may be, how much, howsoever tastiest it may be, howsoever money gaining and profitable it may be. He said, my friend must also get nirvana. My relatives also must get nirvana. My kith and kin also must get nirvana. And all my people must get nirvana. Otherwise, no nirvana for me also. I am satisfied. I am peaceful. I am happy without nirvana. See? Such a thing of sacrifice. This is called paramita. And what is nirvana? Nirvana is nothing but pursue your goal, whether you decline, whether you are upclimb. Decline, upclimb. That is the nature of causation. That is the nature of pratitya samatpa. Because of conditions, you go down as untouchable, you go down as Shudra, you go down as women. And because of condition, bad condition, wicked condition, you come up as Brahmin, you come up as Kshatriya, you come up Vaishya. Conditions. But no condition is permanent. All condition and every moment is changeful, dynamic. And therefore, those who are on the top are bound to go down. Those in the down are bound to go up. This is the law of life. This is the law of causation. This is the law of pratitya samutpad. Pratitya samutpad will reign the world, as cause and effect are connected always. Cause and conditions are connected always with the new generation. Therefore, the human activity is to reconstruct. Let it regenerate. But you reconstruct the world. Marx also was, convinced with the idea of reconstruction. And he said, enough of religion, enough of philosophy. You have explained a lot. No further explanation. All explanation is done. You must reconstruct now. There was Dr. Capra. He was a scientist. And he says, there are only 5 minutes left. And you better change. After 5 minutes, the law of pratitya samutpad, the law of causation, is bound to turn all things to unrecognizable forms, unrecognizable identities, and therefore you better change. You have only 5 minutes at your disposal. If within 5 minutes you did not take your decision, you remain as you are. But then, no history. Karunyakara is for history of Dalit knowledge. History means reconstruction. Reconstruction of the undesirable word and construction of the nirvana, the desirable word. And therefore, bhikkhus are no bhikkhus. Lay man, lay woman, bhikkhuni, bhikkhus. These constitute the society. In Western world or Eastern world. In this hemisphere or that hemisphere. And therefore, society means do not forget all people, irrespective of religion. Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Jews, Jains. And you see, this Shaiva saint Shankara, he only preached the Advaita. All Vaishnava saints, Ramanujacharya, Bhaskaracharya, Nimbarkacharya, Madhvacharya, they preached no other Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita, and therefore no Advaita. You see, this philosophy is endless and it is splitting, hair splitting exercise. You have no time for that hair splitting exercise. You have only 5 minutes left for the reconstruction of the world. And better you change yourself and change your word to be the worthy word of the Buddha, to be the worthy word of Dr. Ambedkar, to be the worthy word of the Bodhisattva, to be the worthy word of Buddhism. Buddhism is the rain. Supply it. Let the world have it. And extinguish their thirst. And there should be the foundation of Buddhism as the Buddha and his Dhamma. As the Buddha and his Dhamma. Because Sangha is the workers force. Sangha is the constructor's force. Sangha is the builder's force. The builders always build. Go and build. For this generation or the next generation to come. Now it is, I think, only 15 minutes through 1. And I think 11:30, if we start at 11:30, then 12:30 means 1 hour is complete. If you have started, say, 12 p.m., then till 1 p.m. also I can prolong my talk. But I should spare some time for your discussion also. Discussion is very important. In fact, the overview is nothing but discussion. Discussion is pinpointed, and in discussion, very subtle points also come up. Therefore, I feel like ending here as 1 hour is over and you are not sleeping. but you are still active. Thank you very much for inviting me. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddha.
Sir, I am truly amazed and impressed by your insightful interpretation of Buddha and his Dhamma. You are truly remarkable and exemplary in your interpretation of Buddhism. I believe all the participants of the session must be feeling the same way. Now, moving to the next segment of the session, I would like to request our respected chair to kindly share his remarks on the lecture delivered by
Professor C.D. Naik. He is a very well-known, highly reputed, eminent Buddhist scholar. I am glad that I have association with him for very long. It's almost more than 20 years. We are known to each other. This is his second lecture, obviously on Buddhism, because he is specialized, expertised on Buddhism. As he said very rightly, the Buddha and his Dhamma, an overview is it should be a kind of discussion. So I hope that the participants of this lecture could make their doubts and questions, if any, to Professor C.D. Naik, so that we could have a vibrant discussion here. As usual, as expected, Professor Naik's lectures always very dynamic and energetic. I could see energy is flowing like water from the mountains. When the river starts from the mountains in a narrow way and it becomes very big river before it's mixed with the ocean. The same way, Professor Naik started his lecture in a subtle way and slowly is emerged into a big, huge river, and ended with like a river. It's mixing with the ocean. He left open to many thoughts. So I really appreciate as well as thankful to Professor C.D. Naik sir for giving this very energetic and dynamic, highly knowledgeable lecture. Professor C.D. Naik sir, once again I am thankful to you on behalf of the KIDK institution. So hopefully sir will be available for providing more and more lectures on this platform, so that our young scholars, I could see many young scholars, doctorates particularly. It's this gathering. I would like to inform you to Professor C.D. Naik sir that this gathering, it's a galaxy of young and emerging intellectuals. So many intellectuals, many of them are doctorates who got awarded PhDs in different academic disciplines. They belong to different, not only my own university, they belong to different universities, different disciplines, doctorates, young research scholars, those who are doing the research on different disciplines in social sciences, as well as even sciences also. I could find some scholars and doctorates, as well as awarded PhD awarded scholars, those who are doing the PhD as well as PhD awarded scholars. And I could find many assistant professors, associate professors, some professors also there. I'm really thankful to all of them for being with us for this lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Once again, Professor C.D. Naik, sir. It's a we are really privileged to have you on this platform. This is a very good day to us to contribute the knowledge, to produce the knowledge in the format of lecture series by this institute. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Naik sir, and thank you, Professor Karunyakara sir. Now, My dear friends, those who wish to ask question are requested to kindly raise their hands. We will give them the opportunity to ask the question to Professor Naik sir one by one. Please raise your hand. Mr. Amit Kumar, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Uh, sir, I have just finished reading Dr. Ambedkar book Buddha and Dhamma yesterday, and I have three questions in my mind regarding your lecture and book of Buddha and Dhamma. Sir, my first question: if there is no belief, soul, and God, then who rebirth takes place? My first question. And my second question is the principle of new Buddhism given by Dr. Ambedkar. And my third question: what is object aims, and what is the different traditionally Buddhism and new Buddhism? Thank you so much, sir.
Now, how should I do this in the middle? I have to do it in the middle, no? निक्कू इसको बीच में कैसे करना है?
Sir, have you noted down the questions? He is talking about the first question is with regard to rebirth.
Rebirth. Yeah.
Second one is to do with Ambedkar, and the third one is a Neo Buddhism. So he wants to know the difference between traditional Buddhism and Neo Buddhism. In his own words, Mr. Amit Kumar, I am talking. Amit, you were talking about second question, Ambedkar. What is about that?
Yes, sir. Sir, my second question, the principle of new Buddhism given by Dr. Ambedkar, like Karuna, Maitri, Jnana, etc.
Fine.
Explore.
Fine.
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Sir, would you like to take all the questions together or one by one?
Yeah. One by one together also, so that everybody can understand properly.
No, we will do one thing. We'll take all the questions, together, so that there may not be same question repeating here and there.
Right.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
Any other who want to ask the question? Please go ahead. Yes, madam. Yes, Kiran madam, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, your lecture is very wonderful, sir. I'm second time listening your lecture. I'm Dr. Kiran Kumre. I'm an assistant professor in Dalit and Tribal Studies from MGHAV, Varda Central University. Sir, I would like to two questions. My first question is, what does Dr. Ambedkar reject the concept of God and rituals? What is your view? That is my first question. And second question is, how is the Buddha and his Dhamma relevant in modern society? That is my two questions, sir. Thank you.
Right.
Any other person who want to ask the question? I'm audible? जिसको भी कोई प्रश्न पूछना हो वो अपना प्रश्न पूछ सकते हैं, प्लीज.
Hello, Jai Bhim.
जी मैडम. Yes ma'am. Go
Jai
ahead.
Bhim. Good morning, everyone. So it was very wonderful lecture. Yet again, second time we are listening to you. So last time, sir, there was some there is some query regarding two narratives which are going on about Buddhism, which we know. That first is which Buddha saw a dead person, a sick person, and the first narrative is this, which is going on about Buddhism, that Buddha, why did he took renunciation? Okay, and the second narrative we know, which is in Buddha and its Dhamma, which is written by Dr. Ambedkar, which says there was a fight in the village and Shakyas and between the Shakyas and the police. Okay, this is the second narrative, which is given by Dr. Ambedkar.
So, sir, the query is about, as I am writing a paper about this two concepts, how can we like justify that the narrative which is given by Dr. Ambedkar, do this have another source, more sources on this issue, or is it like we can write some papers and justify? Means personally I will write a paper and justify, or there are some other sources regarding this query. This is my question. Thank you, sir.
Any other person who want to ask the question? Okay, sir. Please, sir.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Have you noted the questions also in your diary? Somebody must have written it. No, I remember that the first question was about rebirth.
Yes, sir.
And is it true? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rebirth.
So about rebirth, in short, I can say only this, that those who are living now are not dead to experience what happens after death and whether there is rebirth. And those who are dead have not come back yet to tell us, oh friend, I died on such and such a date and I enjoyed the next life and that life was such and such. So therefore, it comes under speculation. It doesn't come under your determination or under your proposal as you put in your thesis. Research work. Research work is that in which you have got the definite proposal and you have collected the definite material connected with that proposal and you have give the definite illustration to prove your proposal or your hypothesis. And there is a base to prove hypothesis also, and you do likewise. So in Buddhism, however, Buddhism believes in rebirth but does not believe in soul and God. And people question that without soul, how can there be rebirth? So the satisfactory answer is given by Nagasena. Nagasena was asked by King Milinda, how can there be a rebirth without soul? And he says, have you seen a mango tree? He says, yes, I have seen. And how come that the mango tree is there? He said, because somebody has planted the mango stone underground. And then mango stone was germinated and slowly it came up as a plant and then it became a tree. So he said, where is the Atma in this process? Was Atma in the mango tree? Was Atma in the mango stone? Was Atma in the sapling of mango? Was Atma in the plant of mango? He said, no. But there is a mango. From the underground mango, there was above ground mango. So, mango, birth, rebirth. Mango. One is birth, one is rebirth. Another new mango is rebirth. And first mango underground was birth. So, rebirth means repetition of the identical birth. Similarly, if I repeat some stanza or say I say Namo Buddhaya and I ask you please repeat, you also and you also said Namo Buddha. So I will ask you, did my soul come to you because you repeated Namo Buddha as I did? What will you say? What would you say? You will say, no, stanza is only repeated, but we don't know about soul. I do not know, we do not know the soul in you, we do not know the soul in us also. But you repeated stanza Namo Buddha. We also repeated stanza Namo Buddha. So there is no agency of soul between your repetition and my announcement. I chanted, you repeated. So chanting was of Namo Buddha. Therefore repeating is also of Namo Buddha. So first Namo Buddha from me is the origin of repetition. And second Namo Buddha from you was the repetition of the original.
I hope that Amit got the right answer from Professor Naik. One more thing is
Yes.
that,
Yes, sir.
yeah, fine.
As you
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, you were talking about Ambedkar Neo-Buddhism, and yeah, Sar has come back. Yeah,
and
please.
New Buddhism.
Yeah, please carry on, sir. Yeah,
New Buddhism.
yeah, Neo-Buddhism. What is the difference? Yeah, between the Ambedkar and traditional and Neo-Buddhism? He want to know.
You see, the difference is time and effect. We lived in such a society where there was no technology, where there was no machines, where there was no industrialization before. We are speaking Buddhism now when there is machine, when there is technology, when there is industrialization, even our peasants, even our laborers, even our housewives, they use mobile, you see, machines. machines. So the circumstances and conditions and age has changed. So Dr. Ambedkar, what did he do of Buddhism? According to his knowledge and experience and his expression of the knowledge in America, in England, in India, and in Germany, and in France, and in other European countries, he has observed the reality. He has not done bhakti of any Ishwar. He observed with eyes open, ears open, his senses working well, functional very well. And what he observed, he noted. Now, if you go on to tell that according to tradition, that diseased man was seen by Gautama, sick man was seen by Gautama, old man was seen by Gautama, and dead man was seen by Gautama, and sannyasi or an ascetic was seen by Gautama. That impressed him, and therefore he renounced his life, homely life or royal life. So one can ask the question, how old are you? Gautama would say, I'm 29 years. Have you not seen a sick man during this period? What would he say? Have you not seen a dead man during this period? Have you not seen an ascetic during this period? Have you not seen the elderly person during this period? So he must admit the fact that he had. He had seen sick man, he had seen diseased man, he has seen dead man, he had seen hermits also. So why didn't you then renounce your royal life at the age of 19, at the age of 20, at the age of 25? Why you renounced at the age of 29? So this was more deeply investigated by Dharmanand Kosambi. He wrote the drama play Bodhisattva. In Bodhisattva, Dharmanand Kosambi laid down the same foundation of Buddha's renunciation of his homely life. That was the struggle, that was the dispute over Rohini river between Shakyas and Koliyas. This is the tradition. But traditional people say, no, what about the sick man, dead man, ascetic, and on which Gautama renounced the world? Dharmanand Kosambi asked, then show us in the Tripitaka, original Tripitaka, that he saw sick man, renounced. He saw tapasvi, renounced. He saw dead man, renounced the homely life. So show us this reference in the Tripitaka, original Tripitaka in Pali. They say no reference. That is why we are the historians, we are scholars, we are PhD, degree holders. So we want proof for everything. So had he been laid down in the original Tripitaka, we would have accepted very satisfactorily, gladly. But since that prasanga is not there, so where is this prasanga? They said the prasanga is the post-canonical works, means commentaries on the Tripitaka, sub-commentaries on the Tripitaka, and they took place long time after the original Tripitaka. Why should they make a foundation of sick man, old man, dead man, and tapasvi as the ground for his renunciation? So in Tripitaka it is not mentioned. And Vadantanand Kausalyan in his Hindi translation, he gave this very fact in the introduction. You should read the introduction in Hindi also, in which he said that the traditional region is not given in any book in original Tripitaka. And this Rohini river incident is given in the original Tripitaka. Therefore, it is consistent with original Tripitaka. Rohini river incident is consistent with original Tripitaka. But it is not consistent with the commentaries and sub-commentaries, which is later composition. That is why, the traditional Buddhism needs to be put in the technological age, in the modern age, in the scientific age. The Buddha and the Dhamma needs to be put in the technological terminology, in the scientific terminology, in the rational terminology, and taking stock of all philosophies together. Then only anybody will be convinced about Buddhism. This is the difference between traditional Buddhism and Ambedkar Buddhism. Ambedkar Buddhism is scientific, technological, and present-day Buddhism. Traditional Buddhism is a believed Buddhism. Ambedkar Buddhism is a observed Buddhism. So you decide for yourself whether you want the observed Buddhism or traditional Buddhism. And follow. Next.
Yeah, I hope that that answer includes Suhas questions also. The answer and even the questions raised by the Kiran also, Dr. Kiran. So now we had a good discussion about the Buddha and his Dhamma. There are a few questions. Some people sent me a message. They are unable to participate here, but however they want to know these things. This is with regard to the culture. What we have talked so far is about the what is in the text. That, as you rightly said, it's a canonical reference only. We take it as authentic. When it comes to whether Buddha is, the story of the Buddha as observed by the Ambedkar is right, or as post-canonical commentary story about the adult man looking at the natural things and becoming a saint. Which one is? You have rightly said that it's a canonical reference only. We take it. So Ambedkar's observance is based on the canonical, right? So I appreciate that this thing. But when it comes to culture, most of my scholars they are very much interested in the culture, which on behalf of them I would like to make a few questions. It's not a questions. To know, since you are expertized on Buddhism and canonical readings, since you are even a monk, Buddhist monk for many years, as well as a professor of Buddhist studies also, would like to know, and Ambedkar also, you are the better person to comment on those things. The first thing is that recently many Buddhists celebrated Diwali. Now we are going to talk about the Buddhism in the cultural part of Buddhism. For how socially Buddhists could live. So Diwali many celebrated as a this is celebrated by Buddhists also as a Buddhist Diwali. Some Buddhists identified it with a Buddha coming back from the after enlightenment from Bodh Gaya to his hometown. This is one part of story of justification of celebrating the Diwali by the Buddhists, Deepavali by the Buddhists, and another story is about how Ashoka came back from Kalinga and renunciated his violence, and he declared his Buddha Gosha instead of Dhamma Gosha. Sorry, Dhamma Gosha instead of that war. This is one question, is that which authentic story be justified for Buddhists celebrating the Diwali? If Diwali is to be celebrated, this is one. Then this Dasara, that also celebrated. Of course, in Nagpur, people Ambedkar celebrate. That is as Ambedkar renounced Hinduism and embraced Buddhism on that day, Vijay Dashami. So may Buddhists celebrate the Vijay Dashami. But pre-Ambedkar days also, was this Vijay Dashami associated with the Buddhism or not? Why Ambedkar selected the Vijay Dashami? So these are all to do with the cultural festivals. So how you, suggest those things? This is one. The third one is keeping some tilak or something like that by Buddhists. Is that like Sikh people, Sikhism, the people of Sikhism, Punjabis, they also don't use any tilak or any bindi. So Buddhists also, many Buddhists also don't use bindi or tilak or something. These are all cultural questions. How do you respond to those things? You could give a short answers. You could give a brief answers, taking just 5 to 10 minutes, and we will end the whole lecture.
Right.
10 more minutes you could take. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Karunyakara, for your cultural question. In fact, it is not a cultural question. It is an extrinsic question. And Buddhism is intrinsic. And like Pola also, we used to celebrate in childhood because we had some bullocks. We used to decorate. Even in Diksha Bhumi on 6th December, they organize jhulas also, swing and entertainment at the Diksha Bhumi, and they say suffering, dukkha, we don't like all this, but it's dukkha. Just to make them intrinsically happy, they organize the swings, they organize, all these games just to entertain the public, but that is not cultural. It is extrinsic, but it is not cultural. Cultural means intrinsic depends on the intrinsical nature of the things. For example, fear. Fear is not external. Fear is internal. So all human beings and all non-human beings, all beasts, all living things, they fear. All living beings, they fear because it is the nature of the living beings to fear. Fear works even to defend your body intrinsically. And fear works also to control and to overpower the cause of fear. And therefore, scientists went by overpowering the power, not to hide oneself when there is lightning, when there is, blasting sound, not to be frightened by it, but search for the cause. So, this is cultural, this is intrinsic. But outward applying tilak on your forehead is like Dr. Ambedkar saying to tilak To Tilak, Ambedkar used to say, if you were born as untouchable, you would have said, the removal of untouchability is my birthright. Not that freedom is my birthright. When untouchable is born slave, how can you be born as free? So when born free, then only you can think of the Swaraj. And untouchable, not born free. So you don't talk about the freedom of untouchables. So if you apply tilak, you apply that traditional tilak who say, tilak is my birthright. He will not say removal of untouchability is my birthright. But by applying tilak, untouchability is not abolished. So intrinsic nature is abolishing untouchability, that is cultural. And what you do is extrinsic, external. It is called, pretension also, dhong in Hindi. If you pretend and pretend and pretend just to hide your inside, you become a very great hypocrite. And there are not few hypocrites in the world. In India also, a number of hypocrites are there. So you will be one of them. Now people do not count because you are in crowd on Diksha Bhumi. People do not count because you are surrounded by people. So they ignore you, they ignore your extrinsic celebration, and therefore they do not take report of your extrinsic and pretentious and hypocritical nature. And therefore you do go on doing all these things, but has nothing to do with culture. The cultivation of mind is the best thing a human being can do, Dr. Ambedkar said. He never said apply tilak or organize jhula, swing at Diksha Bhumi. He would have mentioned and added in his philosophy, in his Buddha and his Dhamma, at Diksha Bhumi, after I am gone, please organize jhula. Just to hide your suffering, he would have said certainly. But he was a scientific man. He was a technological man. He was a researcher. He was a scientist. And he was living Buddha after Lord Buddha. And therefore he can say plainly to his own people, my people deceived me. The urban people deceived me. My, faithful devotees are the villagers. They follow me word for word. Though maybe mechanical, but yet loyal. So you urban people, exceeding the norm of Dr. Ambedkar, become cultured people like this? I never think so. You have neither understood yourself, nor Ambedkar, nor Lord Buddha, nor Buddha and his Dhamma. Thank you. I finished.
Okay, sir. Now we are in the concluding phase of session. I would like to seek permission from the respected chair to proceed with the vote of thanks. Sir, may we proceed? Okay. First of all, we as KIDK are deeply thankful to Dalit historian and Ambedkarite thinker, Professor Dr. L. Karunyakara sir, for chairing the session, and distinguished and celebrated scholar of Buddhism, Professor C.D. Naik sir, for delivering an enlightening lecture on the Buddha and his Dhamma, an overview. Along with this, we extend our sincere gratitude to all the participants and attendees of the 20th online lecture of the KIDK lecture series. Special appreciation goes to the coordinators, Dr. Sukeshni, Dr. Darshana, Dr. Smita, Mr. Akash, Mr. Shreyat, and Mr. Vijay for their dedicated efforts. Launched on Ambedkar Jayanti 2025, this series continues to enrich Dalit knowledge studies. Thank you for your valuable participation. Lastly, we kindly request you to subscribe to the Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel, where this recorded session will be uploaded soon. Jai Bhim. The session is over.